What is up guys, Rick is here with a new video, and today we want to have a look at the SL29 Abyss clear I did on stream with a bunch of you guys, and we didn't actually finish the boss during the stream, but later on in the day I managed to do it, and so we have the full clear of 29 here actually. Starting off with the first stage, we fight 4 priests. It's actually the full priest stage. In general, every stage between 26 and 30 in SL Abyss requires you to consider that the enemy has 40% control immunity offset, which basically means that a 9-star Ignis won't be enough to shield you entirely from the control effects of the opponents, and basically every single one of those enemies, the priests and the warriors that we will actually see in the next stage, and the boss as well, all have a chance to stun you for 2 rounds. So basically what you can do is you can use a V3 Ignis. A V3 Ignis actually gives you a higher amount of control immunity on death, and this will actually be enough to shield you from every control effect the enemy can inflict on you, or you can do it like me and just hope that you don't get CC'd. As you saw this strat on the first stage of 29, we used the Antlers Cane on the Hellora, went with Balance Strike. We didn't do that on the second stage. Second stage is Melodic Strings and Unbending Will. The reason being, those warriors on the second stage do a lot more damage than the priests. And even if you have a huge HP pool like the Hellora I used has, she can still very much be hit into Unbending Will. And we don't want her to die just because she got crit 2 times by those warriors. Wouldn't be quite that nice. Another thing is you will have to run Attribute Reduction Purify all the time, because basically every one of those enemies either reduces your attack or crit, and you have to get rid of those debuffs if you want to stand any chance of ever dealing damage to those enemies. It can also help to switch between front row and back row SQH, as you can see in my fights. Basically you can orientate yourself by looking at those. Interestingly, the third stage is actually harder than the first and second. The mix of those two is actually quite deadly, and the fourth stage is really insane. The boss in SL Abyss actually has quite a lot of abilities. He steals 20% of your attack, he deals 1200% of attack damage with the basic, and twice even with the active skill. He can taunt your heroes. He has Purify, of course. Every hero in SL 26 to 30 has Purify. And he also has Unimax Rampage Ability, which means after round 6, at the beginning of round 6, he will actually gain Rampage, and his skills, his basic and active attacks, can no longer be blocked. And will always crit. This is indicated by a red aura around the boss that we will see at the end of this fight. And at this point he becomes very deadly, and you don't have a lot of time to clear him. Basically this boss battle should be done in the first 6 rounds. You have a bit more time if you have a very big SQH with an AMB. And of course we run Balance Strike again to recover, and you need those crits. And as I said, the boss reduces crits, so that's not that nice, and actually makes this very, very dangerous. Also during the fight you saw that we used Waldeck. Waldeck is very good for this. If you take a look, maybe scroll a bit back, look at the fight, you can see that as soon as Waldeck dies, SQH starts recovering life on every single hit she takes. It gets like, looks a little bit like Eloise, and this is very great to clear this. We used 2 max homes, nearly max homes, not entirely max, but pretty close. One for the Hellora, which was an A tier with Giantkiller, and one for the Ignis, and only barely managed to beat 29. I actually got stuck finally on 30.3. Is it worth it to do all this? No, really not. Currently this is way too difficult, and you need an A tier Hellora to get to 29, while basically on Forest SL you can use a B tier Vesa and easily clear 29 without needing an A tier. So that's not that great, guys. Yeah, in total it was a nice experience trying to clear all this stuff, but I would rather recommend you guys to focus on Forest, maybe even focus on Dark. This will soon become easier with bigger LFAs that we get through the Tree of Origin. And currently, by the way, you're seeing my SL26 clear. I thought it was quite funny, a little bonus clip at the end, as I had some additional things to say and thought you might want to look at this, some big nukes between there. If you see 1 damage, by the way, that's because the enemy reduced our attack and crit to 0, and we didn't manage to purify it. So speed, of course, at this point also an issue. If you're too slow and the enemy attacks before you, they will reduce your crit, they will reduce your attack, and you basically won't stand a chance. So keeping your SQH faster than the enemy can be very, very relevant. Yeah, and with that, guys, I want to end the video. I will put you my write-down for my SL29 boss stage clear down in the description, and for the artifacts for the fights before that, just look at the video, you can see it. It's pretty easy. It was Endless Cane, it was Melodic Strings, and then we went Melodic Strings again. You can also use Punisher stuff. I did clear 1 stage with Punisher stuff instead of Melodic Strings. We have enough energy feed for that. And keep in mind, V3 Ignis can make this a lot easier if you have V3 Suicide Ignis. I mean, of course you need a V4 Big Ignis. And with that, guys, I want to end the video. Wish you guys a great week, and we will see us in the next one.